Okay, so we saw the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. However, there's other important aspects of the Arlington National Cemetery that I'd like us to take a little walking tour through. We're not going to watch the entire thing here, but we're going to listen very closely for sort of details like how big is the cemetery itself. Is one thing we're going to be listening for. Okay, so let's give it a listen. Let's give it a look and keep enjoying this tour. Oh, beautiful weather again. This is wonderful. Oh, there's the road we came in on. That's where we enter. That's usually where we all go to the bathroom before we start heading up the hill. Lineup procedures are a little more intense now.
So how many of you are visiting Arlington National Cemetery for the first time this visit? A lot of you. Welcome to Arlington. Arlington is our national military cemetery. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., one of our longest serving Supreme Court justices. William Rehnquist, our most recent Chief Justice. And right behind me, Kevin Stone, one over from Ted.
Looks like they chose to visit in the fall. They don't listen to our Eastern European friend. Look at that obelisk.
A little bit of perspective. This cemetery pretty much expands all the way to where the Pentagon parking lot is. So this big massive cemetery, which we're just really big, unfortunately. So once like very
So a little bit of information there. Maybe you'll have to rewind it, maybe not. Okay. So we finally make it to the Lincoln Memorial. A little bit of another tour guide. He's going to talk to us about the bridge that we would take back over and that we took to get over to the Arlington Cemetery. And then we would reverse, and go back over to get to the Lincoln Memorial. We're going to learn a little something about that bridge, about the statues on them especially, and then we're going to run up the stairs of the memorial. So please make sure you take a moment and have your pencil at the ready and your ears all tuned in to this wonderful tour guide. I like him.
But after the federal city, it was actually named after George Washington and Christopher Columbus. And the first name for Washington, D.C. was City of Washington, Columbus Territory. But that name, they felt it was too long. Wonder where they got that idea from. So what they did was they took the word to territory and changed it to district. But it still means the same thing. And then they took the name Columbus and changed it to Columbia. So when you hear Washington District of Columbia, it actually means City of Washington, Columbus Territory. And if you can find an old map of Washington, D.C., you'll actually see that name printed on the lower left-hand corner of the map. Yes. Now, Washington, D.C. also has a nickname. It's called Columbia Island. Never heard of it, right? So I always tell people when you get back home, you can tell your friends and relatives while you were on vacation, you got a chance to visit Columbia Island. Because of course they're not going to know where it's at, but they're going to ask you, where is Columbia Island? And the best response is to tell them Columbia Island is right off the Potomac River. Because they're still not going to know where you're talking about, but they will definitely tickle your funny bone. And just let that linger for total over $500,000 worth of real gold. Yes. One of Washington, D.C.'s best kept secrets. That's public knowledge. Over here to your left, you have what looks like Wolverine's claws on the next to the flashing light, that is the United States Air Force Memorial. And it symbolizes the missing man formation, where the 4 jets go up, one disappears, and then the other 3 disperse. Over here to your right, the 2 round buildings is the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts, the only living memorial. And you can actually take a tour of the facility or watch a live performance. Straight down the Potomac River to your right, that is the waterfront of Georgetown.
That old Georgetown. So, half $1,000,000 in blank. All right. Okay. So we're going to run up. The students always tend to run up these stairs, and I'm going to give you a chance to run with Alexis. Alexis is somewhat excitable, working on staying in shape. But Alexis is going to take us to the top of the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, so let's take a look at the Lincoln Memorial. We're going to run up there. All right.
Climbing the stairs to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. with my cousin and her troop and Libby.
With her cousin.
Let's go. 30. And they're going to be counting. Wow, they're already up there. I'm not going to stop vlogging, okay? I need more content on my YouTube video. Sorry for the yelling.
It's okay.
We're almost there. Almost there. My legs hurt. We did it.
There he is.
So, that's the Lincoln Memorial. Really? Oh. I'm back, guys. And I'm out of breath. But if you want to look at the Washington Monument, the Capitol building, and
All right, and then what we usually
Other
do
building.
is we go down the stairs in like this direction, and we go over to the Martin Luther King Memorial. Now, the Martin Luther King Memorial, we're going to look at a little bit here, and we're going to learn a little bit about him, and then that'll be the last part of this first Google form. Okay, let's take a look. And we went down the stairs to the right and up the road a little bit to the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial.
A young boy growing up in a time of segregation. A devout Baptist minister who sought to turn the other cheek. A dreamer moved by destiny into leadership of the modern civil rights movement. This was Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King combated segregation and racism still prevalent in America in the mid-20th century, insisting always on non-violent methods to achieve his goals. He soon became a national
LBJ.
icon of progressive American ideals. In Washington, D.C., on the National Mall, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial is a fitting tribute to Dr. King's leadership in the civil rights movement. Dr. King's drive to move America toward the ideals of freedom and equality culminated in the 1963 March on Washington. From the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, Dr. King imagined an end to racial inequality in his I Have a Dream speech, a speech held as one
I didn't
of the
even know
greatest
that little
pieces
block
of
was
American
there.
oratory ever to be
We're
spoken.
going to have to stand on that block when we
I
can
have a
resume
dream,
normal
he
stuff.
said, that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Thank God I had my students memorize that.
Heavily influenced by Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation and Thomas Jefferson's declaration that all men were created equal, Martin Luther King Jr. gave the nation a vision for unparalleled liberty and equality. The design of the monument is taken from Dr. King's very words, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope." To visit this monument means to literally pass through the mountain of despair, on the way to the Stone of Hope, where Martin Luther King Jr. stands as a beacon. Nearby, excerpts from his sermons and speeches are featured on the 450-foot inscription wall. At the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Site.
So we'll stop there for now. Good luck. You might have to go back and pause it for a few of these videos. Make sure you get the correct answer, but you've been doing a great job paying attention so far. Stay with it, stick with it. And we'll have the second half of our Washington, D.C. tour. All right, not to mention the 3-hour bus ride home. Oh, my goodness, sometimes 3.5 with traffic.